Thank you, Mr. President. One, I just want to say that I'm a proud product of the public schools. I don't know if you know this, Mr. President, but I have a PhD, a Park High diploma. Yeah. So I digress. We're going to talk about some school safety stuff here. You know, one thing that I really am concerned about is safety in our schools, from environmental to actual physical threat assessments. And so last year, CARE 11 did a story on radon testing and found that only 33 school districts in the state tested for radon. And I want to thank Senators Johnson, Eichhorn, Eaton, and Housley for signing on to my bill requiring radon testing. Now, this isn't an unfunded mandate. This is done within the 10-year facilities plan. And so that is what the A10 amendment does. But more importantly, Mr. President, it ensures transparency, that those reports, that those results will be reported to the parents and schools so that we can have safe schools where our kids can go and learn and not be afraid of the health impact in our schools, because radon is an odorless, colorless gas that creates, or that is carcinogen. It's a carcinogen, and it's scary stuff. And ask any of the realtors in this body, and they will tell you that it's a factor in selling a home as well. And so we take this very seriously here in Minnesota, and this is just good safety for our students, and it is good information for our parents and for our communities. And Senator Housley, one, I would think a study group would cost money, and there's no appropriation in the bill, and I think my other partner in the soon-to-be Carla caucus would agree with me that has an appropriation, whereas the original amendment, Senator Housley, is absorbed in the 10-year facility plan. And in that 10-year facility plan, there are plans to mitigate anything that would come up in that 10-year facility plan. Look, I'm just doing what Representative Scott and the other body did, making sure that we have transparency in our reporting of these results and making sure that schools are testing for this carcinogen. I mean, it's not only students that use these buildings, members, it's the public too. I mean, we can't have, you know, you talk about wanting to know, you don't have enough information about the remediation and all of that. Well, it's because they're not reporting they don't have to report the results of any of the studies. And so, you know, I think if we allow my amendment to go on, allow the freedom of information to go through so that we can see where these results are, then I think we can take the local approach and let the schools deal with the results as they come forward. So I would urge a no vote on the study group and a yes vote on the underlying amendment. Thank you, Mr. President. Members, this study group's going to cost money, and I'm shocked that Senator Nelson didn't even bring that up at all, because I have a funny feeling some of the later amendments she's going to be using that rationale. But I also would say this. Members, there are schools right now that are not being tested that are putting our students in jeopardy. So if folks want to vote to delay action on testing for radon, that's going to be their prerogative. But if you want a study group to do what we already know has to be done and test for this carcinogen that our students may be being exposed to right now, then go ahead and vote yes on the study group. But if you want action now within the 10-year facility plan that is already required by school districts, then vote no and support the underlying amendment.